Supermarine Spitfire, probably the most famous aircraft ever to fly for the Royal Air Force.
Shoot me down and find the pieces we all left behind. Let us trade a tale of wrong and
The first time I flew a Spitfire was the most exhilarating moment I had in my young life.
It was a pilot's aircraft. I have never met anyone having flown the Spitfire that didn't come down completely enraptured with it.
Clear prop.
In the early years of the Second World War, there was a terrible shortage of vital Spitfires. The government hit on the idea of getting the public to raise money to build them by setting up their own Spitfire funds. To spur them on, they could choose a special name for their aircraft.
Support the District Spitfire Fighter Fund. Do it now.
It was built at the giant wartime aircraft factory at Castle Bromwich in October 1941. To check it was ready for service, every aircraft had test flights. This film from the time shows the chief test pilot Alex Henshaw with his dog Tony. Here's Henshaw performing his pinpoint Spitfire aerobatics.
The aircraft was tested to a specification that ensured that it met the design and stress requirements of the technical office. I'm told that I flew 10% of the total number of Spitfires produced, so I must have flown over 3,000 Spitfires in all.
A 242 squadron was reformed at Turnhouse in Edinburgh in Scotland in April 1942. And the pilots came from a variety of different places, and so did all the Spitfire aircraft. And one of those aircraft was a Blue Peter. We gave it the code name of R for Robert. This is my pilot's flying logbook, and this records all the flights that I did at that time. And when I opened the page, on May the 2nd and 3rd, 1942, I flew R for Robert, Blue Peter.
The new recruits were sent to a flying training school. A fellow trainee was David Green.
David Hunter-Blair was a very good friend of mine. We got to know each other very well during the course. It was a quiet sort of a friendship. We just enjoyed each other's company. And in fact, even at this rather young age, when you don't expect to meet gentlemen, David was a gentleman.
Secretly, the young pilots went to train in the safer skies of the United States, well away from enemy aircraft. After crossing the Atlantic, they made the long journey by train to Oklahoma, home of the Spartan School of Aeronautics. We discovered one of the instructors was a keen amateur filmmaker. In 1941, he shot this remarkable colour film of the actual course that David Green and David Hunter Blair attended. Here's David Hunter Blair at the front of his section.
Now that's my lot, and I'm in there somewhere. We were people, I think, who, even at that age, were looking forward very expectantly to getting the best out of life. We were thoroughly enjoying what we were doing. We loved the travel, we loved the flying, and of course we did in fact come from all sorts of backgrounds, from schools in the East End of London right the way through grammar schools up to Eton. We all loaded up in the school buses and went to Miami Municipal Pool, which had been set aside for us that afternoon.
After 4 months in Oklahoma, the pilots earned their wings as solo flyers. Now they had to return to Europe and RAF operations.
Why do you go flying?
I love it. It's freedom, and it's just a special feeling being up there in the clouds and looking down at the scenery. It's beautiful. And there's not everybody can do that, so I feel very, very lucky, and I enjoy it. It's a bit of time out. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of studying, a lot of practice, but it's just worth it for that feeling of being up there in the sky. Beautiful.